Let's go into a problem area. It's so interesting. Libertarianism in the Republican Party, very much in opposition to the current leadership of the Republican Party under President Bush, a very advanced, aggressive foreign policy. And they have Ron Paul, very much against the war in Iraq, very much a Barry Goldwater libertarian of the old school. There he is, coming in second today. Will that start any kind of prairie fire out for him?
Well, you know, he's been interesting enough, Chris. He's been finishing ahead of Rudy Giuliani in most states. But this second place finish will be trumpeted on his internet, and he'll raise a lot more money because of it. He's led all Republicans in the fourth quarter in terms of raising money. Ron Paul is the one candidate who will be in for the long haul, all the way, I think, to the convention. He's never fully closed the door on an independent candidacy. He says it's unlikely, but he refuses to slam the door and hermetically seal it. So Ron Paul is someone to watch in terms of not only the remainder of this primary, but a general election.
And listen to me defending my second Republican candidate of the night. Mr. McCain in third place trails Mr. Paul at 95% of the hard numbers reporting by 8 votes. So he could still, that might, I don't think we can call second place.
He didn't make it in the top 3 in the South Carolina primary. But after coming a distant second in Nevada, Republican Ron Paul still hopes for a turnaround in the race for the White House.
What we're looking for is momentum and interest in defending our Constitution and individual liberty and limited government, a different foreign policy.
While criticized for being too radical, this message has resonated with some voters, and many are ready to follow Dr. Paul anywhere.
That was done on purpose.
Linda also organized the fundraiser for the New Hampshire recount, following allegations of voting irregularity. She says it's no wonder Dr. Paul is not getting any votes. Major networks generally ignore him. But the media blackout on his campaign has turned out to be a driver for creativity. One supporter has even come up with a way to get the media's attention.
I was just thinking of different ways that he might be able to get attention without anybody, being able to control it or bring it down or ignore it. And it shows the power of the grassroots and the support.
Lyman has helped to raise $10 million in total.
How can we get rid of the income tax? If we reduced federal spending to the levels of just a decade ago, we could get rid of the income tax and replace it with nothing. Let me repeat. We could get rid of the IRS and the income tax, all of it, if we reduce federal spending to the levels of just a decade ago. There is only one candidate for president, Ron Paul, who is committed to ending the income tax and replacing it with nothing. Congressman Ron Paul has a 20-year record of saying no to the big spending liberals and lobbyists. He can get it done.
This is Ron Paul. I want to end the IRS and replace it with nothing. No income tax, no sales tax, and responsible constitutional spending. That's a formula for prosperity and the way to a brighter future for our children and grandchildren.
We can end the income tax. Be a part of it. Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul is unique. Congressman Ron Paul has a principled, consistent voting record that is not dictated by special interests in Washington. Ron Paul has stood resolute against our government's interference overseas, in our economy, and in our personal lives. Ron Paul is the champion of the Constitution. Ron Paul's candidacy is hope for America. Be a part of it. Join us. Thousands already have. Ron Paul has received more donations from men and women in the military than any other candidate. Don't believe the cynical lie that we can't fight the big money that funds politics as usual. People of every age, race, and background, united by a message of freedom, peace, and prosperity, are ready to take this country back. Learn more at ronpaul2008.com.